everybody's been wondering whatever happened to Key and Peele. Now we know that Jordan Peele, he's a great producer. He did the movie Get Out, but we know that they were in Toy Stories 4 back in 2019. They were like the voiceovers. They did Wendell and Wild, Key New in 2016. They have a history together. They have a history together, and everybody's been wondering whatever happened to them, right? Y'all remember Fargo, Hell Baby, and we haven't seen them for a while. And when they asked Key, whatever happened, whatever happened to your relationship, he responded by, we haven't talked for a while. But now we've gotten the skinny on why they're not, you don't see them on the big screen anymore, right? I mean, this thing just get real crazy.
I realized I liked making sketch comedy. I liked having the big production behind it. I was tired of being like a self-starter. I wanted to sell out. And I got the opportunity. A few of my friends who work for different television shows came to me and they said, do you want to make a sketch comedy show, your star vehicle, where, it'll be you and you'll be writing about, the media and misinformation, but like through the lens of sketch comedy. And I was like, yes, but I need someone to help usher me in. And so one of those friends said, hey, I've got a great person to give you this opportunity. He is, and I don't think this is too shady, I think it's true, the less successful half of a comedy duo that was prolific in the 2010s. Perhaps, I think their code names could be Lock and Banana. And Lock is gonna use his name to carry you to the forefront of pop culture. And so we came up with a pitch. We practiced it. It was like so good. I mean, like not only is there a keynote presentation, but there are videos. We get one of the people pitching with us to go on Pierce Morgan and force him to say the tagline from the show, unwittingly. We are selling the show all over town. And we get a few offers, which is like a feeling that like is unlike any other, where you're like, we are wanted.
So the more and more the sister begin to talk, we start to find out why Key and Peele isn't as close as they used to be no more. They're not bosom buddies no more, right? So she's saying that Key's wife is the executive producer, on the show that they was doing. Now, mind you, she has nothing to do with anything. She's not, a part of the integral part that makes the show go, but she's the executive producer anyway. Now, she went along with this, but now everything is going crazy. But now we're starting to find out, right, why Jordan Peele just went about his business and went on his way and said, man, I can't rock with this because of, this thing, it gets real goofy.
Like, it's coming together. And during the pitch process, Locke gets his dream. He's asked to host SNL. And he does, and we have this agreement. We're like, and you're gonna say the name of the show, you're just gonna put it in there at the end when you're doing your thank yous at the end of SNL. And we should have known then that, like, he didn't say it. And it was, like, the only thing he had to say. But there were some things he said that were, like, weird, and thanking his wife, who becomes a weird main character in this whole story. And so my agent at the time calls me, and she goes, how is pitching going? How do people feel about Locke? And I'm like, oh, my God, they love him. Everybody loves Locke. And she's like, that's great, that's great. How do they feel about his wife, who is now somehow the executive producer on my show? And I'm like, I hadn't really thought about it. I don't think people like her very much. And she's like, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. And I'm like, okay, so like, are you saying like we're not gonna be able to sell this? Or she's like, listen, people like you and they like Locke. It'll come together. And so I forgive this sort of moment. But, that should have been the red flag where I said, hey, maybe we like pause this. We haven't sold it yet. We're all still free. Let's just recalibrate. Not me. I was like, no, because it's more important to have a celebrity attached. So we keep going. We get 2 offers. One, kind of mid. The other from a major studio that I won't name because I don't want to be sued. But you can imagine that their main character is vermin, if you think about it. If he was in your house, you wouldn't like that. But if he was at a theme park, you might be excited to see him. So we signed the deal. We are locked in. We are getting several figures. It's all gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
So this woman inked a 7-figure deal, and mind you, she's working with Key. Now, remember, Key and Jordan Peele was bosom buddies. They was homies. They was in all these movies together, right? But then all of a sudden you seen them part ways. You didn't see them hanging with each other no more. So after she signed this deal, the first call that she got was from Jordan Peele's wife. Jordan Peele's wife called her and basically was saying, listen, be careful with, Key's wife. And she was saying, like, listen, she will ruin your career. This woman is a B, right? Mind you, he's married to a W, right? So this woman is crazy, right? And you got to understand something. This sister's trying to get on, right? So she figures she needs, a star out in front. People that investors to see that and they'll want to invest in it because they know that it'll be box office, right? So she got this woman on the phone telling her, yo, this woman going to ruin everything. She going to ruin her career. But she just signed a 7-figure deal. She not really listening to that. She said, well, you know what? I'll take my chances because what you may be complaining about, she hasn't done anything to me. So she goes out and takes the chances, and now she's saying this.
And so I'm celebrating one day. It's the Olympics that didn't happen in 2020. It's the weird 2021, and I love the Olympics. And so I'm waiting for a burrito to come to my door, and I get a phone call from, like, unknown, which is probably a bill collector, I think. But hey, I'm riding high. So I answer the call, and it is from Banana's wife. And Banana's wife says, hey, I just had dinner with Locke and his wife. They say they're doing a show with you. And I said, yeah. And I, again, don't know how she got my phone number. So this seems urgent. And she says something that, like, chills go down my back. I never eat the burrito, spoiler alert. She says, I'm just calling you because I wish someone would have warned me. She does about an hour of a monologue at me about how, she thinks that his wife is like Phil Hartman's wife. That she wouldn't trust her to hold a baby. That she once poured alcohol on her birthday cake and this person is sober. And she says, there's no accounting for how much money she's cost that black man. And the light above the television burned out. This is a second red flag. I should take the hint. And so we just keep writing on it. Finally, we're in pre-production. This is like May 2023. And I'm excited. We're doing like a last meeting about going through the sketches. We're all feeling good about it. And for once, the wife joins the call. She first of all, she comes on and then yells at everybody because she said she got the wrong Zoom, but everybody else was on the Zoom. Anyway, she's here to offer notes. Yeah, she has no credits without this man. Her notes are, comedy happens in threes. The letter K is funny. And finally, give the audience some candy. Now, how do you implement these notes?
So people were saying that Jordan Peele's Get Out was about his homie Key, man, and telling him to get out, like a white woman that's just running the show and, just running you down in the ground, right? So somebody had posted, Vera had a wonderful time speaking with Keegan about the creative genius of brain of his partner, the Ellie Key, who came up with this hilarious concept for the partnership with Orita. If you don't know who Keegan 7Cs is, click on my link story, right? Then somebody said Get Out is a documentary about your life. You good, right? So this black woman, she really breaking this down, man. It gets even more crazy.
In a script that is a half hour long, has people attached, has a location, and we're all just like, sure, man, we'll add 3 Ks or something. I don't know. Like one time she bragged on one of our calls about knowing Kristen Cinema. So I said, what that have to say for herself? She did not like that. Well, she didn't like that nobody laughed or thought her ideas were good, so she threatens to sue the network. Now let me pause there because I brought a text. I brought something that was another red flag that I should have seen. This is from Dumois, an anonymous blind item that someone submitted. They said, since Locke was hosting SNL, I wanted to say, whenever I see him, I can only think of his wife. She has a bunch of food allergies. And she had an allergy attack about a eucalyptus plant by her table at Tribeca Grill. And then, in parentheses, on the celeb sighting list. Acting like she couldn't breathe. The plant was fake, and I showed it to her. She just said, oh, and acted totally normal after that. He was very nice about it and apologized after. He left a good tip. Bizarre, though. Bizarre, though. And so she threatens to sue the company. She threatens to sue the vermin. And so for a month, we hear nothing. We're no longer in pre-production. We're waiting around. My dreams, the thing I quit my dream job for, thinking I was gonna be ushered into the pop culture memory of the United States of America, is on hold. And they get back to us after a month and they say, hey, we paid them off the project, but you have to write a whole new pilot. And I'm like, at this point, well, fuck, like these are all our best ideas. And also, like, they're like, one day you can perform that for the internet, but like we own the TV rights to that. So we do what writers do. We come back together and we write a banger script. Because we know that if the vermin has nothing, they have IP. And we write a script that is filled with Muppets. We believe that we're gonna have something worth fighting for. And, you know, we know that the strike is coming. It's in all of the papers. We all know that, like, there is this entertainment breakdown on the way. But we have, like, a few more weeks to just shoot the fucking pilot. And right before it happens, you know, Bob Iger has come back, Bobby Gare, and he's got my dream in his hands. And he cancels every single show in production.
So Key's wife ruined everything, and she got the whole show canceled. But it's funny when they said she was having like this allergic panic attack because of the plant, and the plant was fake. The plant wasn't even real, and then she went back to normal. So the sister, she up there, you know, she's telling a story, man, on how she, you know, she was warned. She was warned about Key's wife, but now we find out why Jordan Peele basically, you know, peeled away from him. He not really rocking with him. It's not because of him. It's because of the relationship with the wife. And then his wife don't get along with the wife. And remember, Jordan Peele's wife called the sister and warned her that this would happen, right? But she ain't the only one. There were other people where this one person posted, okay, I'm glad I am not the only one on the hate train. He is estranged from most, if not all of his old friends and most of his family, and most of us blame her. The first minute he brought her back to Detroit, she was cutting him off from the people he knew before, under the guise of protecting him from the people that want to use him for his fame. Sure, his oldest friends and his brother using him, excuse me, it makes me so sad for him and furious at her. But the thing is, I blame him. This is what he want, right? Because if he didn't want it, he wouldn't allow it, right? But they keep saying that, well, his friend Jordan Peele made the movie Get Out for him. So, I mean, this whole thing gets crazy. But the sister, like, she said she quit her dream job to go into this, and she was warned. So hopefully she's able to bounce back on her feet, man. But everybody, a lot of people grew up watching Jordan, Key and Peele, man, and they had a funny series. You know, it wasn't really like my cup of tea, but my little brother and all of them, they used to watch that kind of stuff, and they thought it was funny, man. And all of a sudden, they was gone, right? And Jordan Peele, he was doing his movies, but Key, he's for the most part faded, right? And then everybody's blaming the wife. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, and leave your comments in the comment section. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.